He looked straight at me and pretended he didn't know who I was. Not just ignored me, he laughed with them while I stood there, invisible, like I meant nothing. Like all those nights, all those whispers, all those promises, never happened. And the worst part? Just a few hours ago, he had held me like I was the only person in his world. I should have walked away right then. Any sane person would have. But I didn't because I needed to know why. Why does a man who can't keep his hands off me in private act like I don't even exist in public? It started 3 months ago. I wasn't supposed to meet him that night. I was covering an extra shift at the hotel lounge. Tired, underpaid, invisible to people like him. Men in tailored suits, women dripping in diamonds, they lived in a different world. And then he walked in. Cold, calm, untouchable. The kind of man who doesn't look at anyone twice, unless they matter. But he looked at me. Not casually. Not politely. He studied me. When I came to take his order, my hands shook just a little. He noticed. Of course he did. Relax, he said quietly, his voice low enough that no one else could hear. You look like you're about to run. I laughed nervously, trying to brush it off. But something about him, it felt dangerous. Like stepping too close to a fire you knew could burn you. That night, he stayed longer than he needed to. Asked me questions. Personal ones. The kind no customer had ever asked me before. And when he left, he slipped something into my hand. His number. I don't repeat myself, he said, his eyes locking onto mine. Call me. I didn't plan to. I knew better. But I called anyway. That was my first mistake. Because after that, he didn't just enter my life. He took over it. Late night drives. Hidden dinners in places no one knew about. His hands always finding me, like he couldn't help himself. The way he looked at me when we were alone, it wasn't just desire. It was obsession. Like I was something he needed, not just wanted. You're mine, he whispered once, his forehead pressed against mine, his voice almost shaking. You don't even understand what you do to me. And for a moment, I believed him. That was my second mistake. Because the first time I saw him in public after that, everything shattered. I was walking into the same lounge where we met, my shift just starting, when I saw him. Same suit. Same presence. But different. Colder. Untouchable. I waited for his eyes to find mine. For some sign. Something. Anything. But when they did, there was nothing there. No recognition. No emotion. Just a brief glance. And then he looked away. Like I was just another stranger. And then he smiled at the woman beside him. That's when it hit me. I wasn't part of his world. I was his secret. That night, I didn't call him. I didn't text. I told myself I was done. But at 2:14 a.m. my phone rang. His name. I stared at it, my chest tight, my mind screaming not to answer. But my heart betrayed me. Why didn't you come to me tonight? He asked, his voice low, controlled. But I could hear it. That edge. That need. I swallowed hard. You didn't even look at me. Silence. Then a soft, almost dangerous exhale. You know why? No, I said, my voice breaking despite myself. I don't. Another pause. Longer this time. When I'm out there, he finally said, his tone shifting, colder, distant, like the man I saw in public. I have a reputation. A life. Expectations. And I'm what? I whispered. A mistake? His answer came immediately. No, he said, sharper than before. You're the only thing that's real. That should have meant something. But it didn't feel like enough. Still, I went to him that night. That was my third mistake. Because every time I tried to pull away, he pulled me back harder. Every time I said I deserved better, he showed me a version of himself no one else ever saw. Vulnerable. Possessive. Addicted. It became a cycle I couldn't escape. Until the night everything changed. I wasn't supposed to be there. It was a high-profile event. The kind of place I had no business attending. But a friend had an extra pass, and I thought, maybe I needed to see it clearly. His world. The one I would never belong to. And there he was. Perfect. Untouchable. Standing beside a woman everyone seemed to know. Elegant. Powerful. The kind of woman who fit. I watched them from across the room, my chest tightening with every second. She touched his arm. He didn't pull away. She leaned in. He smiled. And something inside me broke. So I turned to leave. But before I could take more than 2 steps, a hand grabbed my wrist. Firm. Familiar. My breath caught as he pulled me into a quiet hallway, out of sight. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, his voice low but intense. I yanked my hand back, anger finally rising above the hurt. "I could ask you the same thing. But I guess this is your world, right? She fits perfectly." His jaw tightened. "She doesn't matter." I laughed bitterly. "Of course she does. She's the one you show to the world. I'm just—" "Don't," he cut me off, his eyes darkening. "Don't say that." "Why not?" I shot back. "It's the truth." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he did something I didn't expect. He stepped closer. Too close. His voice dropped, almost breaking. "You think I don't hate this? You think I want to hide you? Then don't," I whispered. "Just don't." And that's when everything shifted. Because instead of answering, he pulled me back into the main hall. Right into the light. Right into the crowd. My heart slammed against my ribs as every eye seemed to turn toward us. "What are you doing?" I hissed, panic rising. But he didn't let go. Not this time. The woman from earlier approached, confusion flashing across her face. "Who is this?" Silence fell. The kind that feels heavy. Dangerous. This was it. The moment he would let go. The moment he would choose his world over me. I braced myself. But then, he tightened his grip on my hand and said clearly without hesitation, "She's the one I choose." The room shifted. Whispers spread. Shock. Judgment. Curiosity. But I couldn't hear any of it. Because for the first time, he wasn't hiding me. For the first time, I wasn't invisible. Later that night, when everything had settled, when the noise faded and it was just the two of us again, I finally asked the question that had been haunting me. "Why now?" He looked at me for a long moment, something softer in his eyes. "Because I almost lost you," he said quietly. "And that scared me more than losing everything else." I studied him, searching for doubt, for hesitation. But there was none. And that's when I realized something. Love isn't supposed to feel like a secret. It's not supposed to hide in the shadows, waiting for permission to exist. It either stands in the light, or it isn't real at all. He finally understood that. And maybe so did I. Because in the end, it wasn't his obsession that mattered. It was his choice. And this time, he didn't just choose me in private. He chose me where it actually counted. In the open. Where everyone could see.